Hey everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day. Well, we've come to the end of April and of course the beginning of May. May is my birthday month and I'm so excited to once again celebrate my birthday, I guess. But that'll be later in the month. For now though, let's recap everything that happened in the month of April, and it's been a super busy month, so let's get started. One of the first things that I worked on and finished this month is I finished a Holland pouch. This is, of course, Tula Pink's fabric from Besties, and it has rabbits, and one of my friends has rabbits and loves rabbits and anything related to rabbits, so I'm actually going to give her this bag, but I wanted to kind of test out the Holland bag since I've never made one before, and this was a great way to do it using some really fun fabric that I think my friend is going to love. In fact, she's seen the photo of it because I posted it on Instagram. She said she loved it, and I said, well, guess what? It's gonna be yours. So can't wait to give this to her, but had a great experience working on this Holland bag. Now, since I had experience putting my first Holland bag together, of course, I needed to make another one, but this time for me, and I chose a little bit of a larger size for this one. I've had this fabric around for a little bit now, and I hadn't quite figured out the perfect project to put it on. And now I do. It is the perfect fabric. I love this fabric and the way that they coordinate together. I don't even remember what this kind of weird blue and purple fabric is, but they feel like they fit together very well, although this is a project that just did not want to cooperate. Have you ever had one of those projects that no matter what you do, it just doesn't want to cooperate and do what you want it to do? That was this project for me. I kept trying to put it together and ending up having to pick out stitches, rip stitches, redo it, all that kind of stuff. It was a true headache. And I finally got the project done and was so excited, and I literally picked it up by the handle and the handle popped out and I could not believe it. I was like, really? Really? So I had to go back in, flip the bag out, unpick all the stitches that I had double stitched to make sure it wasn't coming undone, and work on it again. But it is finished. I learned a lot on this one, even more so than my first one, to be honest. I learned a few more lessons on this one, and so now I know better what I'm doing, and it turned out wonderfully. This is also a project that I sewed on my brand new Juki, and yes, that is something else that happened this month. I got to unbox a Juki 2010 Q, because that was one of the prizes that I won from the Sewing Machines Plus virtual quilt fest. And again, I gotta throw this out there. Thank you all for voting for me. Could not have done it without y'all, but I'm so excited to have a Juki, and honestly, I love using the Juki for making bags. It makes it so much easier and not necessarily faster, but I feel like I have more control, and it definitely doesn't hesitate isn't the right word, but it was a lot easier to sew the bag together. So I think from now on, I'm going to be using my Juki to sew any bags. By the way, if you want to see me unbox my Juki on a live stream, I'll put a link to that video in the description of this video and also up in the iCards, so you can go check that out. I was really excited to open up that Juki, to be honest, and I'm so excited to keep that machine and use it for all kinds of projects. Another project that I worked on this month was working on the Gravity Quilt Kit. I finished month 4 of the Gravity Quilt Kit. So for a moment, I was a little bit ahead of schedule, and now I'm about on schedule. So hopefully over the course of my live streams over the next few weeks, I'm going to dedicate to working on that Gravity Quilt. I really want to get that done before I have to move. So I want to get it all done and finish at least the quilt top. So that way I don't have to worry about where the pieces are and which packing box I'm putting it in and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to work some more on the Gravity. Hopefully you'll be able to join me during the live streams all this month, and we'll focus down on hopefully getting that quilt done. Another finish this month was working on the Continuum quilt, and I had a blast, to be honest. It was me, Becca, and of course Tiffany. We all worked together on that quilt kit. Becca and I had seen that quilt kit at QuiltCon this year and immediately jumped on it and were like, yes, we want to do this. And we kind of talked it over with each other and we're like, let's do it on a live stream. Let's have some fun. And then we asked Tiffany if she wanted to join, and she was going to use her own stash for it since it's a free pattern. Love how all of them turned out. I mean, Becca changed hers up a little bit. I stayed with the original kit, so I did it exactly as the kit is kind of instructed. Becca took it and did the kit, but she changed out her background gray fabric for a black fabric, and honestly, that sets that quilt on fire. It is beautiful in the black background fabric that Becca used. And then Tiffany used her own stash to put her quilt together, and she even added some friendship stars around it. Make sure to go check out our videos both on my channel and Becca's channel. Put a link to them down in the description below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed those. I hope you enjoyed sewing along with us, if you did end up sewing along with us. And if not, I hope you enjoyed the videos and hanging out with us. It was a ton of fun. I also finished the showering stars, and hopefully you did too. If you were sewing along with me, thank you for having the fun with me working on that project. I love how my quilt came out, although I didn't get a long time to hang around with it. In fact, I didn't even grab a picture of it because I literally finished it on a live stream on a Sunday and immediately packed it up and ran out the door to ship it off to Beth from Gude Goods. She did an amazing job on my quilt that you see behind me, but we'll get to that in a second. She's going to be working on the showering stars, and we've been talking about what we wanted to do with it and how it was going to get quilted. So I'm excited to see that quilt come back. But in the meantime, you'll be able to see that quilt hopefully in the near future. She's going to do a recorded video with it, just talking about her process of quilting. So stay tuned to her channel. I'll put a link to her channel down in the description below, but hopefully she'll tell you all about that quilt and what she thinks about that quilt. And of course, I'll get the quilt back and put the binding on and all that kind of stuff. But I loved using my scraps. I'm going to be honest with you. I loved using my scraps for it. I kind of took the pattern and did mostly what it said, but I did use scraps instead of the jelly rolls that it suggests in the pattern. Patterns are always just suggestions anyways, right? So check it out. If you didn't follow along on the live stream, make sure to go check out all the live streams. There's 6 live streams for you to catch up on, and it was a ton of fun. And I have loved seeing all the quilts pop up on social media as you have been tagging me in them. Beautiful quilts. You all did really great. And let's do another sew along at some point, right? So I talked about it a moment ago, but Beth did work on my puzzle mystery quilt. I honestly needed to get it out to her as soon as I can, so I shipped both showering stars and the puzzle mystery quilt to her at the same time. And it's funny enough because we both did the same colorway, except I did the large colorway and she did the small colorway. So you can actually see the difference between the large and small and see that they're not just a kind of enlargement of the smaller quilt. But anyways, it was a ton of fun, and I loved hanging out with Kim as always. Love being on those reveal videos. There's so much fun and a lot of just excitement around revealing the quilt. And I'm super excited because I did take a guess at what this quilt looked like. I have a video on that I'll put in the description of this video where you can actually see a time lapse of me working on putting the puzzle mystery quilt together. I came so close on Village Green that I had to try it again and redeem myself, if I do say so myself. I did, because yes, I did solve the puzzle mystery quilt, and Kim even said in the live stream for the reveal that I am the first person to ever solve a puzzle mystery quilt. So I'm very happy with that. But not only was I able to do it, but somebody else was as well. So go check out that live stream recording and find out all the great details of the next puzzle mystery quilt, which is going to be Wild West. Can't wait to see those colorways. I'm very interested to see what that one's going to look like, or at least the colorways. So go check out that video, and yeah, I'm definitely patting myself on the back for getting that puzzle mystery quilt guessed correctly, and I wonder if I'm going to get a ribbon for that. No, I'm kidding. It'd be cool to get one. But anyways, Beth did a beautiful job of getting my quilt together. And of course, I did put my own borders onto the quilt. They did send me a borders kit, but I always like incorporating my own spin in on the puzzle mystery quilt. So I did add my borders and of course my keystones that I tend to stick with a lot. So it came out great, and I think I might end up giving this quilt to my mom. Not sure yet, but pretty sure it's going to go to her. She loves purple, and I think this quilt will be right up her alley. Also this month, it has been super exciting to get to launch my first product. Wow, that feels so weird to say. I got help from So Be It Quilts. Of course, that's Fallon and Matthew. They helped me work on creating a postcard ruler, which is perfect for kind of framing out the postcards. And it has a couple of markings on it to help you identify where the center of the postcard is going to be. Stitching lines around the edges so you don't get elements too close to the edge. Just some helpful guides, and it is so cool that I get to say I have launched my first product with them. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And of course, I have a video for it. I'm going to put both of those links down in the description below. But of course, thank you to Matthew and Fallon for making this happen. I literally could not have done this without them. It's a passion project that I've wanted to do for several years now, and finally have had the opportunity to do it, and I'm loving all the feedback that you're giving me on it. I'm hearing so many positive things about it. I love that, and thank you so much for buying the ruler and telling me how much you love it. It feels really great to hear you say how much you enjoy using it. I love it just for myself because I love being able to quickly measure out those postcard quilt tops and get them cut very quickly. If I have like a big panel or something that I'm working with, it's easy, so easy for me just to go in, do a couple of cuts, and be able to have that 5x7 postcard top ready to go. So again, if you're interested in that ruler, head over to So Be It Quilts and check it out. It is, I like it, but I'm a little biased on it. I hope you like it just as much as I do. Also this month, I had the opportunity to meet up with some friends who are here in the DFW area who watch my channel. Thank you guys so much for coming out. It was so much fun to meet all of you in person. Some of you I've met before, but it was great to see you again. We met up at Whiskey Cake, which by the way is a restaurant. They have really good whiskey cake, but it is a restaurant in Irving. It was a great time. We had a blast, and hopefully we can do that again before I'm out of the DFW area. But it was so much fun hanging out with y'all, and I hated that I had to go. I had a live stream that I had to run off to, so hopefully we'll get to hang out again and spend some more time together. All right, I saved one of my favorite moments from this month for the end of this video because I might get a little sentimental on this. I had the opportunity to witness another solar eclipse. This was actually my third total solar eclipse to witness, and it's something magical. I don't know how to describe being able to have the opportunity to be in the path of totality. There's just something about it that's like no other feeling on this earth. It feels otherworldly, to be honest. Now, like I said, this was my third total solar eclipse to witness. The very first one happened back in, I think it was 1998 in Venezuela, South America. I went with my dad and a group of family friends to check out the solar eclipse and witness it. And I think ever since that moment, I've been hooked. It is just amazing. I can't describe it. Like I said, I can't describe the feeling being in totality. So every time I have an opportunity, I'm going to try and make it happen. The second total solar eclipse I saw was back in 2017, I believe, if I'm getting my dates correct. I was in Nashville, Tennessee to see that one. I even did a vlog about that journey with my mom and my aunt. You can check that out down in the description below. Go check out that video and see a very excited Ian as totality happens. You get to witness my reaction to it because it is just, I love that feeling. Anyways, this one was a little more nerve-wracking, to be honest. Here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is amazing that this total solar eclipse was coming straight over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It was nerve-wracking because for weeks, the meteorologists have been saying it is going to be cloudy and we're not going to see it. And I was so sad about that. Solar eclipses, total solar eclipses specifically, are in a way for me to connect to my dad. He passed, 6 years, I guess? I think it's been 6 years now. And it's a way for me, it feels like, to connect with him. It was something that we both shared the first time when I saw my first total solar eclipse. I don't even know what number it was for him, but it's a way for me to connect with him. And I was so hoping I would be able to see it. But I was so bummed when weather report after weather report said it was going to be cloudy and I was not going to be able to see it other than a darkening sky through the clouds. So I took a half day off of work for that day, and I really waited until the last minute to figure out what I was going to do. Was I going to stay at my apartment, which would have totality, but for less time than Dallas would? Dallas had, almost 4 minutes of totality. Fort Worth, where I live, only had about a minute and a couple of seconds over. So where was I going to go? Was I going to stay here? I was stressing over where to go and what to do. A day or two before the eclipse, my friend offered for me to go hang out at his house and watch the eclipse, which would have given me a little bit more time in totality. And I just didn't know if the clouds were going to be thicker there and thinner here at my apartment. It just was so up in the air. Finally, a little voice told me that I needed to go over to my friend's house to witness the eclipse. And so I followed that voice, and it led me over to their house for the morning of the eclipse. My nerves were on edge all morning long as I witnessed cloud after cloud after cloud passing over the sun. And I was so worried I was not going to be able to see anything of it. I was pacing my friend's house. In fact, he and his husband were going like, "It's just an eclipse, dude, like calm down." And I'm like, "No, I don't think you understand. Like, you've never seen a total solar eclipse. You don't know what that feels like." And they were just like, "Okay, all right." And so we all just kind of waited. That's all you can do, is wait. So we waited for the eclipse. And as the eclipse started, it started to get a little less cloudy. Right before the eclipse, though, 3 minutes until totality, a cloud passed over the sun, and I was sure I would not be able to see it, and I was so bummed. But thankfully, 2 minutes before the eclipse, that cloud moved out of the way, and thankfully not another cloud moved in front of the eclipse, and I was able to witness totality from beginning to end. The moment totality hit, I think my friends understood. They were looking around in amazement, and all I could do was stare at that black hole in the sky. And if there's a moment in time I could go back, if I could go back in time and freeze a moment, that would be a moment. That one, or any of the other eclipses that I've witnessed, that would be the moment I would go back into, because the moment of hanging in totality is just so amazing. As I stared up into the sky, I wanted to freeze that moment forever. I tried my best to sear it into my memory so that way I could always have that feeling. And of course, I did my best to look around. There's just so much happening all at once, and it's hard to focus on one thing or another and take it all in. But the air got cooler, the birds stopped chirping, the sky went dark. It was a 360 kind of sunset almost, twilight that you saw. It was, I can't describe it, but it's beautiful and I love it. And in a way, in a very small way, I know it sounds a little crazy, but I know my dad helped make that happen. I know my dad helped make it get clear enough so that I could see that totality from beginning to end. And I know that he was there with me. It was a beautiful moment. And as soon as it started, it feels like it left. The diamond ring formed on the other side of the moon and the eclipse. And we were back, headed into reality again. I would love, again, to stay in that moment. But that 3 minutes was up, and it was time to get back to reality again. And I think my friends truly appreciated what it felt like and what it was to be in that eclipse. There are going to be many more eclipses coming up. We have one in 2026. There's one in 2027, I believe in 2028. So many more eclipses to come, and I certainly hope that I will be in the path of totality again, because it is just so beautiful. Hopefully Egypt is one that I can make it to, because Egypt's eclipse will be over 7 minutes of totality, which will feel hopefully like an eternity. But I would give anything to be in that at totality for sure. So thanks, Dad. Thanks for making that happen for me. It was such a special moment. I don't think I quite realized how much happened this month. This feels like a jam-packed month full of just amazing finishes, great time hanging out with some friends, and of course that eclipse. I didn't quite, like sitting down and actually recording this video, I realized how much has been going on. And it's been a very full month, but guess what? May is going to continue on that pattern. We've got a lot more to do, and I still need to pack. There's a lot more to pack, but thankfully I have a little bit of time to make that happen. So yeah, more to do, more to come, and of course, more projects and silliness from my channel. I hope you continue on this fun journey with me. And of course, I will recap everything that I do in May. I forgot what month it was for a moment. We will be recapping everything that I did in May towards the end of the month. I hope you will join me then. Thanks for joining me for this video though. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, remember guys, normal is just a setting on the dryer. Bye.